Hey guys, this is Watchman Alexander Lawrence coming to you with a quick video about the film The Arrival. I went to see this film a couple of weeks ago and I wanted to make a video right afterwards, but life just got in the way, so this is a bit delayed. But then again, that's giving people time to go see it for themselves, and hopefully a lot of you will know about it, because if you don't watch this video. This is going to contain major spoilers. I'm going to tell you the twist, the thing that makes this movie so unique in terms of alien visitation films. So why am I wanting to talk about this? Because the film has a very important end times subject matter just under the surface. You wouldn't know that unless you've studied the kinds of things that I've studied, and unless you're thinking from a biblical perspective. Otherwise, it just seems like a cool story, right? And a lot of people who watch this film are going to probably shake their head and go, "You're nuts," because they don't understand the biblical, the cosmic perspective that I'm looking at things from. All they understand is the secular perspective of things. And so when you go outside of that realm and you say, wait a minute, there are fallen angelic entities that are guiding the progress of civilization, that are deceiving us, that are trying to keep us from having an understanding of the higher truths that are contained in the Bible, then you know that entertainment is one of the major ways that they do that. One of the main avenues by which they confuse us and keep us ignorant and help us to see things from exactly the opposite perspective as God wants us to see it from. So let me tell you what's actually behind this movie. Now, let me preface this by saying that the person who wrote the script, or at least who was mainly responsible, I'm not sure if there were other script writers involved, but the main writer, he wrote a book about the Tower of Babel, and it was similar in a lot of ways to the biblical narrative, but it was also twisted from that. He changed the story, he made it different, and the important spiritual lessons that were to be learned from the story of Babel are not present in his book. He changes it, which is exactly what the devil is always trying to do. He's trying to take something that is mostly true and give it a twist so that it becomes completely false, but it looks true still because it has those nuggets of truth in it. So he wrote this book about the Tower of Babel. It distorts the moral of that story. And then he writes this movie. And in this one, aliens have come to try and help humankind. Now, humans don't know that at first, but throughout the movie, you realize that the aliens are trying to assist humanity. And not only for the sake of humanity, but they say that they need humanity's help. Not immediately, but in the future. And I can't remember the number that they give. It's like 4,000 years in the future or something. Well, that number is kind of meaningless to me, I think, in terms of the deeper, the hidden meaning behind that. But it is significant that they're saying that they're going to need humanity's help. They don't say why, they just say, we're going to need your help. And the way that they go about uniting humanity and getting us to a place where we'll be able to evolve and help the aliens is by giving us their language. It's a very advanced language that, again, major spoilers here, guys. So stop if you don't want to know this. Excuse me. But they want to give us this language that actually allows us to see the world differently. It allows us to step outside of time to a certain extent, to see things in a cyclical or a circular way instead of in a linear way as regards the dimension of time. And so it's going to cause this massive leap in the supposed evolution of mankind, because we're going to be able to not only see things differently, but we're going to be united with one language. The whole world is going to learn this language. And then at the end of the movie, what happens is that the alien spaceships take off, and that there's numerous ones all around the world. They've parked at different places in different nations. And instead of taking off and zooming into outer space, the spaceships go up into the upper atmosphere. Well, not upper atmosphere, I shouldn't say that. They go into the air to some distance. It's not the upper atmosphere, but they disappear in a, how do I describe that? They sort of vaporize. They turn into this smoke and are just gone. They're not zooming off into space. So what does this all tell us? Well, it's actually teaching us exactly what the extraterrestrials, so-called extraterrestrials that visit people and have been since really the early 1900s, it is telling us exactly what they've been trying to teach people, which is that they have come to help humanity. And their behavior, and you can reference scientists, secular scientists like Jacques Vallée, to understand that their behavior shows that they are not from outer space. They're in fact interdimensional creatures, not extraterrestrial creatures. The vehicles that they travel in and the ways that they behave when they abduct people demonstrates that they're not just here in the material realm traveling around on a platform of some kind that can travel through outer space. They're literally phasing in and out of our reality. So these are what I would call spiritual entities. They're from a higher realm, and they come in and they fly in the air. They are the principalities of the air. That's what the Bible calls the fallen angels who rule over the nations of the earth. They're called principalities, and Satan is called the prince of the power of the air. So they certainly travel about our atmosphere, but they phase in and out of our dimension. And they have told the people that they have abducted, or who they've, certain people channel these extraterrestrials through seances and other spiritual means that the Bible tells us not to utilize. But they've told people that are willing to contact them that they're here to help humanity, that they want us to evolve, they want us to overcome our differences, and they want us to unite. And what this is doing is it's in the movie, they're trying to take us back to before the Tower of Babel. God split the languages of humanity for a reason, because we were doing evil with the power that we had as a united race. We were too advanced, we were getting too powerful, and so God said, in order to slow down this progress towards doomsday, we've got to break up their languages and spread them out. Well, the aliens in the movie are trying to undo that. And then what happens, instead of flying off into space after they've given humanity one language again, they simply disappear as if they've just shifted into another dimension. And why are they here? They want humanity's help. And that's my last point, is that the aliens are actually these fallen angels who are going to need our cooperation in order to fight the Messiah. Because the Bible is very clear, when the Messiah comes back, the whole world will gather together. All the armies of the world will come together in the Battle of Armageddon to fight against the Messiah and his heavenly armies. So they're actually convincing humankind that if they evolve enough, if we become advanced enough, probably through things like transhumanism, we're going to become powerful enough to fight the angelic armies, which they're going to say are another race of extraterrestrials, that they're not actually the people of the transcendent creator God, but instead are this secondary alien race that is trying to direct humanity in a different way, trying to really repress humanity and use us as slaves and keep us ignorant and deluded. That's what they're going to tell us, and that's why we'll be convinced that we can fight against God himself. So that's the underlying message to The Arrival. I know it seems crazy that these messages are embedded into just popular media like this, but they really are. the spirits of the rebellious cosmocrators, which are the fallen angels of the divine council, they want to program us. They want to convince us to think in a way that will make their job easier. And so that's what they're trying to do. Don't fall for it. And if you want more information on this topic, I'm writing the second volume of Leviathan's Ruse, and I'm going to be talking all about the alien agenda in there. So look forward to getting that. All right, thanks guys. Shalom.